guys, this is Ashley Nicole. I'm with Geek Plus Magazine. We're starting another series here with Mentoring Business, here with the wonderful, talented, creative Jiles King. How are you doing today?
I'm great. Thank you for having me.
You're very welcome. And guys, he's with DFW Black Arts, amazing organization. We're here to learn about not only how to mentor in business, but guys, just about his business in general, his journey in entrepreneurship, and we're excited. Let's just jump right on into it.
Let's do it.
So, I guess the main thing that we would want to know from any entrepreneur, any artist, is how did you actually get started?
I saw a need in the community for a platform that represented the Black Arts here in Dallas-Fort Worth. Being raised in Dallas, and I worked all over the Metroplex, Dallas-Fort Worth, Arlington, Mesquite. I saw that no one was talking about what was going on in the arts here for Black people. Okay. And so there was no general area who was doing that. And so I said, why not create it? So once I created it and realized that no one was like advertising or looking at what was going on in Black arts, I also realized that a lot of small arts organizations didn't know about marketing. Wow. They didn't have a resource for marketing. They didn't have a resource for education. They didn't have a resource for financial planning. Mm-hmm. And so we wanted to create a company that created all of that. And that's what DFW Black Arts really does.
Amazing. So marketing, like that's something that's really not discussed in schools, or in this case, a lot of different communities that offer organizations to help people. Right. That is something that we definitely want to push into the Black community as well as into arts, because that's originally how we get our art out and how we get our message out is, of course, marketing and networking. So thank you for creating so that way we can,
Yeah, definitely. A lot of people are trained how to be an artist. They're trained how to sing, how to dance, how to paint, how to take photos, how to cook. They're trained to all those things, but nobody really is training the business side of that. Like how do you put your brand out there? It's a lot of trial and error, but there are some key steps in taking on putting your brand out there and marketing your brand and doing it in a professional way. I mean, right now we have resources like Facebook, we have resources like Instagram, and those are resources that are at our fingertips, but they're also the old school, hitting the pavement with those flyers and doing those calls. So we have a lot of resources in marketing, and a lot of people just don't know what that list looks like.
Being innovative and creative is one of the ways that we do applaud you guys for being. So definitely, you guys, once we're done, be able to hit them up so you can, expand your market and brand yourself correctly.
Yeah, definitely.
So aside of DFW Arts and what you guys already do, you being an entrepreneur, how long have you been in this journey?
So I started my first company, 7 Stage Productions, which was actually a theatrical and film company back in 2007.
Wow.
2007, yeah. So that's what, 12 years ago?
Yes.
12 years ago. And so it was a lot of hard work. It was literally, I was a teacher at the time, and I was putting my own money into my productions, rehearsing.
Investing.
Definitely invested in myself. I didn't have an angel investor. I didn't have anyone. I think my uncle may have gave me a little money, but I had to pay him right back right after the show. Wow. So definitely, putting my own paycheck in there, and it really made me want to work harder. It really made me want to push and get my business off the ground. And so from there, I started my production company, and that's where I really saw the need. Like no one is advertising, nobody is like promoting what we're doing. And so I was like, well, why not? I don't want to do it just for myself,
of course,
because I learned the hard way. But I wanted to provide those resources for others.
Each one teach one.
Yeah, definitely, and reach back too. I don't want to just make it and then and then make it quote unquote, and then just be like, oh, I made it, so you got to do it on your own. No, I want to give those resources, and that's just how I am.
And that's just what we need here in the community. So being able to teach the next artist and the next entrepreneur what you need, the tools, the resources, and then this is how you give back.
Right.
Amazing.
Right.
Being able to be an entrepreneur, an artist, mentees, or in this case, different artists they're just thriving. And in our Black community, we need encouragement at all times. Mm-hmm. What is some encouragement that you've had in the past that, maybe you just were just like so drained of inspiration or so drained of different, I always say just trials and tribulations, but as an artist, we get drained. So, you just get sidetracked. So what are some of the things that kept you motivated?
So, looking at the big picture and realizing that this one project, this one situation, this one client may be giving me the blues right now, but the big picture is keep going. and keep pushing, because there definitely is a goal in mind. I'm a firm believer that if it wasn't for me, I wouldn't be here right now. There have been so many amazing doors open, so many amazing people I've got to work with and experience on this entrepreneur journey. And there's been some hard days when I'm like, why am I doing this? Yeah. But really, when you just really pull back and look at the global picture, look at the big picture, it's really because it's a passion. And I can't, if I wanted to stop, I couldn't. And that's really what motivates me. And someone told me, it was like, once you go through these hardships and these trials, then you will really appreciate all of the success that happens. And it's true. Once you really deal with those things, you can say, wow, it was hard, but it was worth it.
Amazing. And that's definitely something we want our audience and our people that are listening to the mentoring business to, look at. If you're having a struggling time right now, it's not going to be forever. Like you said, a client you just having a hard time with right now, you're just got to push through that part of it.
Right.
So amazing. Well, the resources. When you think about entrepreneurship and how, they want to tell you to do this and do that, and you're spending money, you're investing your money, and sometimes you fall flat on your face with it. Yeah. What are some of the resources that you've used in the past that has been beneficial?
Well, I have a business mentor. Actually, I have 2 business mentors. Okay. And I can go to them beforehand, I can go to them, afterwards. I can go to them really anytime in the process, but really just somebody to bounce things off of who has been down that road. Okay. Then someone who can just pull me to the side and put me in front of the right people. And say, hey, I need you to show up at this luncheon. I need you to show up at this happy hour. Okay. Hey, I want to introduce you to these people. And so having those people in my life who are able to pick me up when I fall flat on my face and say, don't give up, I believe in you. Just those kind of people have been a godsend for me, because this journey can be very lonely. Mm-hmm. People don't understand the grind. They don't understand why you work 12, 13, 14 hours a day for little to no money to start off. Yes. They don't understand why you can't show up at the birthday party because you're on set doing something. Mm-hmm. They don't understand, that the sacrifices. They understand the sacrifices that have to be made because, this is your business. You are your boss. Yes. And so literally, if I don't work, I don't eat. Yes. So it's really about, somebody who you can bounce off and be like, hey, is this a good idea? Hey, is this a good investment? And I don't have to take their advice or their word is not gospel, but it's definitely good to have a different perspective so I can get out of my head.
Definitely. 3 things. I know you were stating that, you have a mentor. That was definitely one of our questions here, that you do have a mentor. Yes. Or you feel like it is important to have a mentor when you're trying your best to be the best that you're trying to be for your brand.
Yes, and the great thing is my mentor, they don't work in my industry.
Gotcha.
I got a mentor who has business, who works in the business industry, and one who works in finance. Mm-hmm. So I need someone who can tell me, this is great for HR, or you might not want to do this. You might want to stay away from this trap. Or someone who's like, your business structure is not the right way. So someone who, art, I can do that all day. Gotcha. That's what I know. That's my passion. While I do have people, in the arts that I do communicate with, I do. But I needed someone from the entrepreneur side who was going to be able to lay into me and then pour into me at the same time.
Amazing. And when you think about how you yourself have become a mentor mm-hmm. to, other artists or entrepreneurs that may not be in the field, mm-hmm. and how it's been beneficial all around. So it just comes back full circle.
Yeah, it does.
Amazing. When it comes down to standards, the rules, the handbook, mm-hmm. do you have one?
So, no, I don't. I don't. There's no standard. There's no rules. There's no handbook. So it's really what works for you. Yes, there are general things. Get your business right. Make sure your finances are taken care of. Make sure you realize that you're your brand. Mm-hmm. A lot of people, one thing I tell a lot of the artists, you are your brand.
You are your brand.
So social media wise, you are your brand. If you're posting pictures of you in the club every Friday night turned up, and if that's the brand that you're going for, go for it. But if you want this other kind of brand, you have to realize that even when you're walking through Walmart, you are your brand.
You're your image.
Yeah, you are. Yeah. And so people will see you and they'll automatically associate you with your company and your organization.
And that's why businesses have things like rebranding. Mm-hmm. and how to market your brand and everything. And that's what his company is offering for you to do it the correct way.
Right.
So definitely, that's amazing, gems. We are just, I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I'm just shook because I've learned so much just in this little amount of time. So amazing. But there's no handbook. That's what we want to definitely get over. There's no handbook.
No handbook. I wish somebody could hand me. And you're going to find 5,000 articles on Google on how to start a business. You're going to find 5,000 articles, on Bing on how to be an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
You can go to workshops, and there are going to be some amazing jewels you can pull from that. But everything is not cookie cutter.
Yes.
Like, this business is not cookie cutter. I can take a marketing and our arts company that does the exact same thing I do in LA and try to fit their model, and it will fail awfully because this market is not the same. The people are not the same. The clients are not the same. And the passion is not the same. So, there's no handbook. There's no, this is the way you do it. These are the 5 steps. And then you press go. It's not a microwave.
Not at all. Amazing. Amazing. Do you feel your services are very needed in the community? I know you were saying earlier that that's what you saw a need to, but describe a little bit in detail, if you could, about how you feel like this is definitely what that not only your passion, but you've turned it into your purpose.
Yeah, it's definitely for marketing arts for minority arts organizations or minority artists is definitely needed. It's so funny. We have an award show, the Irma P. Hall Black Theater Awards. It's our third year.
Shout out.
I created that because there were several awards for theater companies around the city. And I noticed that we go down the nominee list, you go down the winner list, that nobody looked like you and I. And so while that's fine, but there's still work going on by people who look like you and I. And so just had our third one, and so many people walked up to me and said, Jiles, thank you for doing this, because one, we don't get to see each other because we're all working, we're all auditioning, we're all doing shows, but also nobody's recognizing us. And so to create a platform that recognizes the work that's done by these artists is something that has been needed in the community. Also, from the marketing side, having a database, an email database, and a Facebook and an Instagram followers that I can push out, like, hey, this production is going, hey, this art show is going, hey, this photography show is going. Being able to disseminate that information is needed because, once again, we have our silos. We're all, this is my clique, this is my crew, this is my audience. We all are siloed out. But creating one conglomerate that's overarching and overreaching is really what DFW Black Arts really is our passion, our purpose. Are we 100% there yet? We're not. Okay. But we're still trying to reach people. We're still trying to find those niche audiences and create that overall thing. And
so not only are you guys collaborating and being able to reach the artist, but you're supporting that passion within that artist. Right. Because, like you said, 9 times out of 10, we're not really getting the money that we're really, really needing or deserving, or that we need to survive off of. But because there is a passion, and we've turned that purpose into a passion, or I think it's the other way around. I'm not for sure on that part, but I do know that when you are not being supported, that you feel left out.
You do. You
feel hurt. You feel neglected, and being an artist, that's where you get drained.
Right.
So that's where DFW Arts will be able to assist, not only in marketing, but to be able to collab and support.
Yeah, definitely.
Amazing. The accomplishments, the guide that you could look at, or the map, and you could say, hey, I've went through this and I got here and I made that accomplishment. I went through this and I got here. How would that goal, how would that guide map or guide goal look for you?
Yeah. So I believe baby steps. I am a overachiever by nature.
Okay.
And so I started and I was like, hey, I want to climb this mountain.
Okay.
And I didn't realize that I needed to be in the gym before I started to climb the mountain. I realized that I got all the way up. I got, a fourth of the way up the mountain, and I failed because I wasn't strong enough.
Gotcha.
So that roadmap that you're talking about is really breaking it up into baby pieces and baby steps. And I realized for me is that I had to write it down.
Okay.
Not to go too biblical, but the Bible says write the vision and make it plain.
Make it plain.
And so once you write that vision and then you create the steps from that vision. And then you break that vision up into edible pieces.
Okay.
So, they ask, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. And so you really have to take that big elephant of that plan and then break it up in one bite, something that is manageable. So many times we jump off the cliff and be like, oh, I'm about to climb this whole mountain. And we're like, oh no, I don't have the skills yet. And I don't have the resources in place yet to be able to fulfill this whole roadmap. And then you get down the line and be like, wait, what happened? I know I wanted to do this, and now you get frustrated, and then you start to second guess yourself. But if you take that all the way back to the beginning, if you write that plan, write that vision, and then break it up into manageable pieces.
Manageable.
And then timelines. And then also accountability partners.
And then you'll be able to see your goals.
Bingo.
You'll be able to see those accomplishments step by step about what you have done.
Right.
So I think when you said you don't want to get too biblical, that's okay to do because Jesus was a carpenter.
That's true.
He was an artist.
Right.
So the things that he was able to create in the things that he's put into us, it's okay to fail because the goals that we set for ourselves, and he put it on the money. Go back real quick to that accountability partner.
Yeah, that accountability partner is something that I didn't realize I needed.
Okay.
But I share with my mentor, and I share with a couple close friends of mine my plans. Okay. And then they are really the ones who be like, hey Jay, where are we on this? And I'm like, yo, but I got distracted. Where are we on this? Yeah. And they hold me accountable for it. Yeah. And I can't get mad because I asked for an accountability partner. Gotcha. And so that really, really has been a godsend for me. Somebody who is able to call me to the carpet and be like, hey, and then when and be able to celebrate my successes too.
Yeah, because they are proud of you, and I'm glad that we're back to that because it's like I want you guys to understand that he says he has mentors that are not in the industry, so that's important to know that just because they're not an artist like you, you can still pull from different industries to be motivated, to be inspired, and to be encouraged in whatever plan or goal that you're trying to reach for 2019. So I just wanted to kind of reiterate that because a lot of people think that, I need a mentor, but I need a photographer for a mentor. Right. You may not need, that's maybe something that you want and something that you may need later on down the line, but you just need some help to be able to be pushed along to that next level. Right.
And you may find a photographer mentor, but you may find someone who is an accountant. Yeah. But they are super structured, and that's the person you need. You have to figure out what's the right fit for you. Everyone's not the greatest fit, but you have to realize that, what is the right fit for you in that situation.
So I guess it's probably another big surprise. He didn't know that he was one of my mentors from a distance. I guess he didn't know that part, but surprise. Well, yeah, because it's like I am literally in a field that I know nothing about, but just being able to reach out and look from a distance on how people carry themselves and the business that they partake and how they handle it, that could be from a distance, from a mentor.
Yeah, definitely.
So amazing. We want our audience to just know that when it comes down to being an artist and being friends and having that relationship, it's good to keep those. Yeah. It's good to keep those bridges smooth.
Definitely. Don't burn them. Don't burn those bridges.
Because you may have to go.
Yeah, you may have to go back across them. Definitely. Now, there's some that you might need to burn down. Like if it's detrimental to you, and if it's not fulfilling your vision, and that hurts you more than harm you, you might just want to light a match.
Exactly, and it's okay to do that because you're trying to grow as a better person, which we hope, and not just as an artist or an entrepreneur. Right. So I was talking with another artist, and he explained to me about how he wanted to be the best business person possible, but noticing that he had some personal things wrong with him, and that he could not push forward without doing so. So he had to pull back. How has that sort of transitioned from, back 2007 Jiles to 2019 Jiles?
Well, life happens.
Yeah.
Life definitely does happen. And when you are your brand, you have to realize that affects everything that you really do. So really taking self-inventory and realizing where you are in your space. I realized that when my life is a mess, my business is a mess. Gotcha. and I just don't feel comfortable. And so really being able to pull, okay, so center yourself, what's going on with you? And fixing you, while at the same time, a business is still running. But being able, but when you have yourself in control and you have yourself in check and you are aware of where you are, then it really makes everything else around you kind of flow just a little bit better.
Self-awareness.
Yeah, you definitely being self-aware and being able to be real with yourself. So many times we psych ourselves out and be like, oh no, I'm good, I don't have any problems. No, I'm not good. I'm tripping right now. Like there's some stuff going on in my life right now that I need to take care of. I just had an event that was rough and that was really tough. And being able to recover from there and not let that affect everything that was coming down the pipeline was not the easiest thing. But I had to I said, if I suppress this, it's going to mess up me.
Yeah.
It's going to mess me up in the future. So I need to deal with these emotions, deal with the issue, and then keep pushing forward. And that's how I'm able to be here today, honestly, because I could have sat and I could have wallowed and I could have had a pity party and invited myself. But I realized I was like, no, this is just one thing. This is just one thing. It's not gonna kill me. It's not gonna take me out of here. But it's gonna make me stronger, and it definitely has made me stronger. It made me more aware of situations I get into in the future.
We applaud you and are very proud of that message, and that you're being able to be honest with yourself and saying, hey, I had an issue. Yeah. I'm having issues. Yeah. So that's something that every artist needs to know, that you're not alone. Mm-hmm. If you have issues, if you have things that are going on with you personally, it's okay to take a break.
Yeah.
It's okay to say, this is okay to I messed up. Yeah. It's okay to mess up, and then to pick the ball back up and keep going.
Right.
So that's a message in itself. So no ties to that one. What do you have coming up now? What are you suppressing to, or sorry, maybe I should have said suppressing. What are your goals for 2019?
Yeah. So DFW Black Arts is doing a lot of things coming up. So we're starting this creative collective type thing, which is going to, so we'll focus a lot on the arts, but I want to focus more on creatives in 2019. Mm-hmm. And so while a lot of creative are artists, they don't see themselves always as artists. Okay. And so the art side of it, they think theater, dance, music. And so I want to push past there and start this. We're starting this creative collective where we are basically getting together and doing workshops. We're doing happy hours. We're doing meetups. We're doing business acumen type things. Okay. And so that's really where our focus is. Also, we're extending our education brand. Okay. And so we're going to start going into schools in the fall. Okay. And having workshops and classes for students. Okay. We're focusing on the Pleasant Grove area because statistically, Pleasant Grove here in Dallas is one of the lowest areas for after-school programs. Okay. And so we want to definitely, that's our thing. We want to meet those needs. And so that's two of our big things coming up is those two.
One of the things that we definitely here at Geek Plus like to push is that art is science.
Yes.
And a lot of people don't understand that, and they don't realize it. Mm-hmm. But once you look more detailed and more technical, every piece of art is science. Yeah. And so we want to be able to, of course, assist in any way we can possible here at Geek Plus, so that way we can get and push and meet those needs of those very creative and innovative students. Mm-hmm. So I'm excited just for that part of it. 2019, as the young people say, it's going to be lit. Litty. we got it a little bit. Well, we like to play a game here at Geek Plus, and it's not a terrible game. It's just kind of small. Okay. Little. It's called Geeks or That. So you down?
Oh, let's go. Let's go.
Just rules. Okay, I'll start simple. Okay. iPhone or Android?
iPhone.
Okay.
Definitely iPhone.
Okay. I guess I could go with Chevy or Ford.
Ford.
A Ford?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Mixtape or album? Album. Okay. That works. Studio or theater? Theater. Okay. Now, why did I know that one?
Obviously.
That's amazing. I'll keep it simple. Angela Yee or Angela Simmons?
Angela Simmons.
Simmons?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So, man, I always ask that question and we get the same answer. We're going to have to get some yees. Some yeezys. So, but we want to thank you so much for joining us today, being able to come and talk about not only your journey, but encouraging our artists and our entrepreneurs to just keep going, and also giving us awareness of what you guys are doing in the community. So amazing. Here at Geek Plus Magazine, you know, we think forward. And shout out your platform, please.
Yes. So
where can they find you?
Follow me personally, Jiles King on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. You can also follow DFW Black Arts on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter.
Okay.
Go to dfwblackarts.com, join our mailing list, subscribe, find out what's going on in Black Arts around DFW and surrounding areas.
Wonderful. I hope you guys are enjoying this segment and all of our other segments. And like I stated, for Geek Plus Magazine, not only are we thinking forward, but we're innovating life. Have a great day.